FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
You're listening to the Financial Survival Network. It's Kerry, Lutz, and, well, all sorts of crazy things going on all over the place right now. And when we want to find out exactly how crazy things are, well, we go over to the real side with Joe Messina. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Kerry. Thanks for having me on again.
All right. So, craziest thing of the week so far, and the week is still young, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Is it? Well, the craziest thing, if you really want to get down to it, is this billionaire that's thrown his hat in the ring for president?
Oh yeah, you mean the Donald? Yeah. Well, hey, did you watch his speech yesterday?
I watched bits and pieces. I can't, you know what it is though? I know this is really shallow of me, but I can't focus on the words. I keep waiting for his hair to flip over. With all that money he's got, you'd think he could do something with that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe it's like a badge of honor that because I have all this money, I can do whatever I want with my hair. Yeah. The difference between eccentricity and insanity. Do you know the difference?
Yeah, what, about $1.5 billion?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was funny. I was thinking about him this morning when I was looking down the candidates. We're going to end up with maybe 25 of these yo-hos eventually. I wish Walker would make up his mind. I wish he would officially throw his hat in the ring. I want to see some of these others just drop away or drop off or what have you. But we're gonna end up with 25 of the best of the worst again. At least that's my humble opinion. Look at what we did last time. We had 9 guys, and none of them were ready for this job. I don't know how you feel about this, but we have first-term senators running, right? I don't get why we should put them all in a room. Here's this: put them all in a room, give them a bunch of boxing gloves, and the 3 guys that come out with the least amount of blood on them, they get the nomination. What do you think of that?
A little blood sport might be interesting, or better yet, let's have them all set up lemonade stands on an active thoroughfare and see who has the most money at the end, and let them buy out lemonade stands that aren't doing well. Let's see who's done the best at the end of a week and pick them based on that.
Now, the only thing I got to thinking, and you're smarter at this than I am, if the Donald were to get in, let's just say that a bolt of lightning hits and wipes out everybody else but him, and he gets in. Usually the president has all these advisors because they're just not. They've never run a real business, and they really don't understand it. He wouldn't need as many. Why would he need an economic advisor? Why would he need a commerce advisor and that kind of thing? I think he could handle most of that on his own. Am I off here?
Well, most of those jobs that surround the president are payoffs for all the people that got him into office. But in seriousness, you still need all these people because basically it's not a one-man job, and you need the best minds that you can find to help you for all this stuff, no matter how much you know. Because look, what he does is he comes up with a concept in his business and he bounces it around. And like he says, whenever he goes into a deal, he looks at the downside. And then when he gets the deal done, he gives it off to his team and they put it into play. And that's what you do as president. You don't do very much yourself. You surround yourself with a team of trusted advisors to execute your policy. Now, in this case, I think his training on The Apprentice would really be ideal because he's got to go all over this country just firing the ass off of people. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. You're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, until he's blue in the face. The more people he fires, the better. Whole departments, whole people are working for the federal government that the government doesn't even know they're working for him.
I know, no kidding.
Did you ever see that movie, The Office?
No, can't say I have.
Oh, it's great. Great movie. Jennifer Aniston's in it before anyone knew she was Jennifer Aniston. And there's a guy, so they're working in this dysfunctional office, and this guy gets hypnotized, and basically he learns not to care about his job. It's a dead-end job that's going nowhere. and he just learns to flip off his boss and just not care. And he winds up advancing, and they're in awe of this guy because he will just say or do anything. But there's another guy in the office that they fired 2 years ago, except for the fact that he keeps coming in, and finally they just stop paying the guy, but he still keeps coming in. Now, how many bureaucrats, how many government workers out there have been fired, or they don't even know, and they just keep coming in and they keep getting paid? There's got to be tens of thousands of these people, Joe. Fire their asses. Get rid of these people.
Trump brought up a point and everybody went crazy on it, and nobody really got what he was trying to say. And he's one of those guys because he hasn't really run for office. He doesn't understand the politics of the situation, but he said he would force Mexico to pay for the fence. And everybody, you can't do that. You can't force Mexico can't pay for the fence. And I'm going, it just shows you how little you know about pressure. Reagan knew how to put pressure on. And finally what he said when he was pushed, he said, look, I would make it so economically impossible for them to ignore me and not to build that fence. They'd have to do it if they wanted to see any money, if they wanted to see any help from us. And people don't realize that's pretty much the driver for most of what happens with these other countries and us, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, look, a lot of what he said was bombastic. It was hyperbolic, but a lot of it was funny and entertaining. And that's what's gone out of politics in America. There's no entertainment left in politics. That's why I think he's such a welcome addition, is that he will put entertainment back in politics. And look, the guy is no dummy here, and he shouldn't be treated like he's a dummy, Joe. He's not stupid.
No, you don't get to where he is by being stupid. Right? I mean, or being ignorant to me. And he knows where to go to get the information. That's the other thing I tell people is you and I too, we know where to go get information when it comes to the electronic stuff we deal with, or the camera stuff or what have you. He knows how to do the same thing. He's not full of himself. He realizes that he has got a niche and expertise, and he needs to go find other people that have niches and expertise in the services he needs. It's like this president we have now. He definitely doesn't need a cabinet because he knows everything. There's very little that Obama doesn't know. Aren't you aware of that? Did you not get the memo?
He's the all-knowing, all-wise Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right? As he's out there telling everybody how to spend their money, how to save their money, how to do all this other stuff. This is while have you known any other president whose wives have gone on vacation apart from them? Long vacations. Michelle Obama's out at it again. She's in Venice, man. I'd love to go to Venice with the girls. She brought her mother. I don't think her mother should be on the bill here, but and just for the Venice portion of her trip alone, they spent over $128,000 on one portion. That doesn't include getting over there, the Secret Service, and everything else that has to go on. They don't just. This is just amazing to me. My mind is in a fog. You just don't go strolling down a Venice street as the first lady without some kind of security, some kind of upfront clearance. I mean, am I overthinking this?
No, I think that they've totally abused the American public. I'm just wondering if Prince is going to be there too. Maybe he'll put on a concert for them. What do you think?
Well, the Italians would love him, I guess. I don't know. He's always talking about how he's Prince. I've heard him say he loves the Italian people. So he could get into one of those little, in the middle of one of those piazzas and go ahead and just put on a little concert for them. They would love it. But you're right. I mean, you take the daughters, you take the, and the way she's justifying this with she got her mother, not her mother-in-law, but her mother and the two girls. And every one of them has to have Secret Service, and there has to be security around them, and it goes out in front of them. She's going to go visit the members of the armed forces stationed in Venice. And I'm thinking, why do they have go visit the families that are in the Middle East with their soldiers? I mean, they would love to see you. They would love to hear from you. In Venice, I don't want to take the time to go see you. I could be out on one of the boats or strolling and shopping on my own.
Yeah, it's come on, give me a break here.
Don't you love it?
And it's not like the armed forces have some love affair with the president and the first lady, au contraire. I mean, come on.
No, a couple of weeks ago, I did a story around the fact that the majority of our servicemen are claimed to be, Republican, registered Republicans. And even the Democrats in the armed services now are wondering why the president dislikes them so much. When you think about all the money he's spending right now on the illegal aliens, on dealing with them from a legal standpoint, medical standpoint, putting them up in places where they need to, to have homes and getting them educated. And he's talking about slashing the military budget. This I don't care what altered universe you're in, or how much LSD you stick in your mouth. This can't make any sense.
No, it's just,
it's a total kick in the teeth. I mean, if I was him, I'd be praying every night nobody takes a shot at me, because I'm not so sure anybody around him would jump in the way of a bullet for him.
He's really got people shaking their heads here, Joe, wondering, like, who is this person and what is his real agenda?
I'm worried he's going to burn us down on the way out. Think about the way he's handled things in the 2 months prior to him leaving office. You want to make a bet today as to how many pardons he gives?
I can't imagine. It's worrisome. But hey, moving along here. So the Greeks are defaulting. Europe is virtually ablaze, and he's having a concert in the White House with Prince. I mean. What is going on in the world here?
He's not allowed to relax? I mean, come on, Kerry, what are you doing? I mean, his wife is gone or leaving, and it's a go-away party. It's a going-away party is what it is. That European bank has always just interested me to no end, because I don't understand. Just tell me if I'm wrong here. So the bank is funded and supported by the neighbor countries, Spain, Greece, Germany, France, that kind of thing, right?
Right.
Okay. And last I checked, Spain and Greece and France, they've all got financial troubles. I mean, they're not solvent. And the only one that's somewhat solvent is Germany. So
arguably, perhaps.
Okay. All right. So when a country gets like Greece gets in trouble and they need to go get money, the bank has to get money from these other countries that it's already loaned money to, and is looking for money to be put back in the system to give to Greece. It just doesn't. I cannot wrap my mind around it, because I realize it's just numbers on a piece of paper. Don't get me wrong. I'm not an idiot. I know they don't go in and get a bucket of gold and leave. But how do you borrow money from people that are almost in default on the payments they're making to you to loan it to a country that is in default on the payments they're making to you?
Well, now you understand the farce of fractional reserve banking when you're bankrupt and you're loaning other people money who are bankrupt, who are loaning it back to you, who are also bankrupt. And now you understand why the system is doomed to failure, why it's destined to failure, which is why we should all become Uber drivers and just drive until the whole world collapses, Joe.
So how long does Uber last before some union or some idiotic bureaucrat or legislator puts them under?
Well, they're all trying all over the place. Here in Florida, they were trying to pass a law in the legislature, and Uber sent out a desperate email to everybody who is an Uber user in Florida. Please don't let them put us out of business. And it seems to have worked. Looks like that law has been tabled. They're rioting all over the world because, look, what is nearer and dearer to any politician's heart than the local taxi franchise, which seems to be going the way of the buggy whip and the horse-drawn carriage, right?
Yeah, but what an entrepreneurial business. I mean, who would have thought of that? There are people sitting around, cars in the driveway all day. People want to make a few extra bucks. I wouldn't mind taking a ride from, I won't say a high school kid, but maybe a college kid. He's got a couple of days off a week, wants to pick up a few bucks, and puts it out there that, hey, if you need a ride to the grocery store, you need a ride to an appointment, I'm here. I got Tuesdays and Wednesdays off, and I only charge in town, it's $10. I mean, whatever it is, right? I mean, who wouldn't pay that? Who wouldn't? Here's somebody's providing a service. Somebody's willing to take advantage of the service. Leave us alone. Isn't that the way it's supposed to work?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. And I think it's a great thing. That's free markets. When two consenting parties wish to contract and it's not hurting anyone else, let them do it.
Yeah. The only weeds, and I don't know how you fix it. you're the genius here, not me, believe me, is I'd want the person at least prove to me they had insurance of some kind. Maybe you have to post an insurance card or something.
To be an Uber driver, you got to have insurance.
Right.
It's required. In the state in which you're providing the service. So you've got to have it to be on Uber.
Cool. I mean, then it works, and I don't see why people are so irritated about it.
Oh, because it threatens the existing orthodoxy. Same with Airbnb. Anything that threatens these monopolies or the existing order is going to be attacked viciously by those the powers that be, by the existing beneficiaries or by the current beneficiaries of the existing order. It's just the way it works, Joe. You know that.
Well, in the city I live in, they were starting a mobile concierge service. And what it was supposed to do was if you wanted, I don't care what it was, you need a toothbrush, you want to buy food, you want to order lunch or dinner and have it delivered to your house or business, you could call this 800 number locally and they would pick that stuff up for you and drop it off. And obviously you pay in advance for it. And the city tried to license them, but it wasn't a matter of licensing them just to make sure we know who they are, we have some kind of record of them, they're not felons. They were licensing them for the fees. And for $150 a clip, you could get your license. I'm thinking they're not making that much to begin with. It's a lot of money. Bureaucrats who haven't grown their own business are making rules on these kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Hey, well, just think about it. Why do you have to license manicurists? Why does the state need to do that? Why does a barber need to be licensed? Give me a break. It's all about the money, Joe.
Oh, I'm with you. And most states, you brought that up. It's true. Most states have, you've got to get not a license, but you got to pass a test to at least prove that you can cut somebody's hair. But at that point, once you go set up shop, leave them alone.
Oh, you know what? If they can't cut people's hair and they do a bad job once, guess what's going to happen? What do you think will happen? Now, it's one thing about a pilot. I really don't want an affirmative action pilot. And I don't want an affirmative action air traffic controller. But you know what? The White House is working on giving us affirmative action air traffic controllers. How do you think that's going to work out?
Oh my God! Why are you doing that to me? I'll never fly again.
And how about affirmative action dentists? You want one of them?
No, just like I don't want. I don't even want to go into it. This nut job, Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah, well,
Dolezal or whatever her name is. Yeah, the NAACP lady.
Action. Yeah.
I don't even know that is wrong. Let's forget about the fact. Everybody tried to bring up what is it? A white girl can't advocate for black people? No, I don't think any conservative said that. I think the argument that I had was she lied.
Yeah, she got on the wrong showboat. Yeah, she got on the wrong showboat.
She's bronzing her skin. She's curling her hair. She's changing some of her facial features on purpose, using makeup and other means. And if she was so righteous, it wouldn't be a big deal, would it?
I love it. I think she was eminently qualified. They should have kept her on. I don't see what the problem was. She was doing a good job.
Well, I think the DNC is looking to hire her.
Hey, well, I'd hire her. I just don't know what she could do for me because.
Oh God! Well, but see, there's the problem though. You would interview her and you would know if she was telling you a lie or not.
That's a problem.
If a liar tells you they're lying, are they lying?
Yeah, well, so the truth is a difficult, often a difficult concept for people to get their arms around, right?
And what scares me more than anything, Kerry, is that the stories that you and I do on a regular basis, more and more people are accepting of misspeaks. Yeah. And now they lied because they're just trying to feed their family. They lied because they're just trying to get a job. Well, my God, what happens when they get that job? Are they going to lie to you about what times they're there? Are they going to lie to you about stealing product? I mean, what else are they willing to lie about just to feed their family?
Yeah. Well, I can't even imagine, Joe. It's just, I don't know. It's just anything is possible with this woman. And she sued Howard University for discrimination because she was white, and somewhere between there and now she became black. It's just too difficult for my feeble mind to get my arms around.
Well, apparently she's teaching African American studies. So at some point in time, something switched or clicked or what have you, and she decided she was now they're calling it transracial. I can't find it in the dictionary. I couldn't even find it online in the dictionary until yesterday, and it wasn't even in the dictionary. It was just in stories. I couldn't even look up the word.
Well, a new word is born.
Yeah, and they keep throwing these words at us like they're supposed to mean something.
Yeah,
but it's sad that we've got to the point in society where really nothing has a solid foundational meaning, and really I don't care what it is. It's just marriage, man, woman, black, white. In the case of Elizabeth Warren, whether you're Native American or not, just crazy.
Yeah, sure is. And I don't know what to do about it, but there's a lot of them out there.
Just run.
Yeah. Well, hey. Here's a story that Trump is accused of hiring actors to pose as supporters at Trump Tower's presidential campaign launch. So,
and that's different. That's different than Hillary.
Yeah,
hiring people at the coffee shop, at the some of her rallies, right?
Oh yeah, rent-a-mobs.
Hypocrites. Just hypocrites.
Come on, I just don't know what the difference is, but it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. So here's one in your neck of the woods that community farmers face water cutoff after California drought decision. So what about that river smelt? How is that thing doing? Is that
okay? It's funny. I just did this on my show last night, and here's the deal. 50% of the fresh water that we get off the mountains is diverted into the ocean, right? Fresh water diverted into the ocean because of what it does to the rivers. The fresh water does to the rivers and streams that it doesn't. The eco freaks are out there fighting it and saying that by diverting the water initially into the rivers and streams that we created, it raises havoc with the local ecosystems. Well, what about the human ecosystems? Do we count for anything? Right?
Yeah.
And their beef is because of the building that we've done, the communities we've created. Mm-hmm. We've had to divert water into non-natural rivers and streams, and then again that creates havoc with the local ecosystem. Therefore, we should simply just pump it, underground, have it caught in these little reservoirs, and pump it underground into the ocean. I'm thinking, my God, we have lost our minds.
Yeah,
we have just lost our water and dam system was set up originally for a third of the people that we have today.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And I'm not so sure, even the legislators in this state, I'm not so sure they could build more reservoirs and dams with all the regulations we have, federal and state.
Your last aqueduct was built by Edmund Brown, Jerry's father, in 1974, which was 41 years ago. All right. There's a reason there hasn't been one built in 41 years. Okay. Here's two stories you're going to love. Okay. So Carly Fiorina, who also is a pretty cool candidate, a non-candidate who's making waves and making the thing interesting, stirring up the muck, because all those other candidates are a bunch of stuffed shirts who bore me to tears. So she had a super PAC called Carly for America, but it had to change its name to Carly for America in capital letters because the Federal Election Commission said that no, you can't do that because it's a specific candidate. So Carly for America now stands for Conservative, Authentic, Responsive Leadership for You, otherwise known as a backronym, or an acronym made after the fact, a string of words chosen to fit the 5 letters of Fiorina's first name. It could have been committed action restoring the legitimacy of yesterday, or Compassionate Americans Reveal Liberty's Yearn, or Cool, Awesome, Rad League You. You just fill in the blanks. Do you love it or what? Is this stupidity? Why not just give give him the finger and tell him to sue me. That would be the best thing, because it would just give you so much publicity, and you're standing up to an idiotic government bureaucracy that shouldn't exist. The Federal Election Commission. One more story. Like, this is the beauty of the Donald. Okay. Mexican officials slam Trump's border comments, candidate not backing down. Don't you love it? I mean, this is why you got to love Trump, regardless of the fact that he's a hypocrite, that he's inconsistent, that he backed Hillary Care in 2007. Listen to this. This is from Fox News, Latino Fox News, no less. Donald Trump has drawn the ire of both the Mexican government and Mexican Americans in the U.S. for the controversial comments he made Tuesday during his presidential campaign announcement. The real estate mogul said during his hour-long announcement speech that Mexico is not sending its brightest minds to the U.S. Instead, it was sending drugs, crime, and rapists across the border illegally. A day later, he did not back down from his comments. The billionaire businessman, I hate reading, I'm sorry to do this, television personality and now Republican presidential candidate told Fox News channels Fox and Friends that whether it cost me votes or not, I don't care. I tell the truth. Do you love it or what?
I do. Listen, I have no problem with that. I think people shouldn't either. You know where you stand with people. You know where the guy stands with you. He's not a hater. He sees things very black and white as to what helps and what doesn't help. He was talking about the crime in New York City or in New York proper, and he said, look, once there's a direct correlation between stop and frisk when it started, years gone by, and now when it stopped, we're headed back in that direction. Nobody with a sane mind can say that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And people found that insulting and found it racist because most of the stop and frisk recipients are black. It's just the way it works out. Oh. Nobody's looking for black people to stop and frisk. They're good with the crime rate going up, I guess. Same thing in Baltimore, right?
Yeah. Well,
Baltimore's gone up 1,000%.
Oh, yeah. Well, wanted to talk about that, but just one more quote from Trump, and then we'll talk about the escalating crime rate in urban America. Nobody can build a fence like me, Trump said. I would build a wall like nobody can build a wall, and nobody comes in illegally anymore. I build great buildings all over the world. I would have Mexico pay for it. Believe me, they will pay for it because they have really ripped this country off, just like what you were saying, that they don't get it. But isn't it the truth? And, hey, he's saying the things that so many Americans feel, and he's resonating. And that's what these political insiders don't get. They don't care what he said 12 years ago. They don't care that he was up there with Hillary, because you know what? These insider country club Republicans and Democrats they don't care about anything except their own power. So you know what? The guy comes along and he's saying the truth and he's resonating with them. They don't care anything about what this guy said 6 months ago or 6 years ago. Let's face it.
Yeah, no. And it's funny you call them country club Republicans. I always joke the lowest end Republican fundraiser is wine and cheese, at the local country club, and they don't understand how to put on the good old fashioned in the park, barbecue with your local officials or what have you. We don't know how to reach out to the people anymore, and I don't know if that came around when we got afraid. Or we were verbally bashed and we didn't want to push back, and we still don't push back to a big degree. I don't know when that happened.
Mm-hmm. I don't either, but somehow bad things really happened here. And this guy gets it. But getting back to the urban crime wave that's occurring now, it's just amazing that people don't want the law enforced. Just decriminalize minor crimes, and that's okay. And then when you do it, and then the crime goes up, the crime rate goes way, way up. Murders are just happening all over the place. It's like, oh, how did that happen? Geez, surprise. Well,
and they still won't admit, even with the proof in front of their face, they won't admit why it's happening, right?
And look, like I'm not one that, I don't like the concept of stop and frisk, singling out people in the street. But when police use their intuition, which they're allowed to do, and when they see a bulge in the side, and it looks like a gun. The Supreme Court has specifically allowed that. Don't ask me the case, Joe. I'm a former lawyer, retired attorney.
I believe you.
They specifically have allowed police to stop people and frisk them when there's suspicious circumstances present. It's fully allowed. So maybe the cops went a bit overboard on it, but now the murder rate is up 20% in New York thanks to Comrade de Blasio. And he says, oh, there's no connection. There's no causal connection. Of course not. And shootings are up 120%. No causal connection whatsoever. It's a coincidence, Joe.
Yeah, and notice that he doesn't say it has nothing to do with this. It has everything to do with this. He can't. We know it's not that, but we don't know what it is. Well, if you don't know what it is, then how do you know it's not that?
Right.
That's always it's the standard answer with them. And I love how they love to pick on people like Walker and talk about how it's not everybody gets a job. It depends on what kind of education you have, what party you belong, which is a bunch of stuff. And you look at the 10 worst cities run in this country, 10 of them, they're all democratically controlled.
Yeah.
So even if you don't want to get into, if some of your listeners don't want to get into the political arena with this, let's call it management styles. That's what I would say. Let's call it a management style. So the management style that some ascribe to seem to be the styles that are driving states, cities, and counties into bankruptcy. And then the other management style that more conservatives like myself ascribe to are growing cities, they're growing counties, they're growing states. Mm-hmm. There is more employment. They are safer. They're making more money. I just don't get anybody with two brain cells to rub together how they can't see this.
Yeah, well, there are none so blind as those who will not see. And that's what we got here, Joe. Joe, we got to go therealside.com. Check it out. I guarantee you're going to get some laughs. You learn something, have some fun, and that's what it's all about. Joe, thanks so much.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.